All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. If everyone will please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance.
The weather has been nice.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, good evening to everyone. Our first meeting since school has started back, and I think we're off to a good start. Everything's clicking along good. Everything I've heard is positive. I spoke with Miss Helen today, and she said, "Nothing's wrong." I said, "No, nothing's wrong. It's all good."
That's right.
Yep. Everybody's had a chance to look at your open session minutes. If there are any changes that need to be made, we can make changes now. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion. Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries. Everybody's had a chance to review our closed session minutes from our last meeting. If there are changes, we'll make those in closed session. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Second. Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Do we have any additions or deletions to our agenda?
No, sir.
Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion. Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries. All right, we have no public comment signups tonight, so with that, we're going to move right on to our superintendent's report.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. We're glad to see everyone here. We have been busy. Just to bring you a quick update on what we've been up to since August 5th, our last meeting. Answer is we've been pretty busy. August 6th and 7th, we had our district leadership retreat, and I mentioned that because one of the highlights of that, we had some great professional development for our leadership team, our principals, assistant principals, and essentially that professional development was an overview and leading us through the 4 disciplines of execution, which is essentially just a way of approaching goal setting so that you're focused on it and you identify, what is called wildly important goals, what's really going to impact. We identify the things that will have the biggest impact, and then the thought about staying focused on it and staying accountable. And one of our goals as a leadership team is to be in the schools. And so, board members, I've put a link to that in the superintendent's report, so you can just for your review. It's really interesting. We have thus far, and I'll just share the results of that. Since August 19th, when teachers came back to school, our leadership team has been in school 215 times. We have been in classrooms since school started a week or so ago, 44 times. And for a total of, right now, 213 hours spent in our schools. So we're really excited about that. Now, the question is, what is that all about? Why are you there? Sometimes it's easy to get so wrapped up in our day job that we forget or get distracted from what's most important. And what's most important is happening right there in those schools. And so we want to be there. We want to have those relationships with our teachers and school staff. We want to understand the challenges that they're facing, and we're not going to be able to understand that if we're not there. And so that's what we're doing, and we're excited about the way that's going, and we'll just continue on. Another thing about the 4 disciplines of execution, there's an accountability piece where you have a scoreboard set, so to speak. And what that scoreboard tells you is really how you're doing. Every Friday morning at 8:30, we've been meeting, and we meet about it and talk about what we've seen, good things we see, any things that we need to do differently towards the goals. So we're excited about that. So just wanted to share that with you and let you know how that was going. Obviously, when we say we've been busy, school started, and we've been off to a great start to the school year. It's really in full swing, and with that, I'm just going to transition into the principal time and let our principals come up and tell you all the great things that's been happening in their schools. And so I'm going to ask Ms. Savannah Alexander to come on up and give us a quick update on Pamlico Primary School.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you, can you all hear me in this? Good? Okay. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Savannah Alexander, and I'm the very proud principal of Pamlico Primary School. For those of you who have heard me share in principal's time before, I guarantee you've heard me say the phrase, we are rocking and rolling at PCPS, and that is more true than ever, especially right now during the school year, which is our theme for this school year. We are ready to rock. So if you've seen some rock and roll themed posts or t-shirts, that's us, the pups. We're rocking it out this year. To be really honest with you, Dr. Johnson has really set the stage for what I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm really going to focus on that wildly important goal. Now that our teachers have finished letters training, which you may not have heard about in a few years, it's a long process with some very intense professional development that our teachers have participated in, and we are happy that we wrapped that up at the beginning of this year. And we're really ready to just focus on our reading instruction. So we are laser focused on one thing this year, and that is to provide excellent reading instruction to all of our students at Pamlico Primary. We have a wildly important goal, as Dr. Johnson said, and that's to increase our oral reading fluency to 70% by Thanksgiving with our students at the primary school. We have a long-term goal to, of course, expand upon that, but we are really trying to get that big jump to 70% before Thanksgiving. So, with that being said, we're now out of the implementation phase with our curriculums that we've adopted over the last couple of years. We're done with our letters training, and our teachers are feeling more confident than they ever have been when it comes to reading instruction. We ended the year last year with a school record-breaking kindergarten proficiency in our DIBELS data, and our third graders demonstrating over 10% growth of the state average. So we're really proud of that, and that has really greatly impacted the excitement and the motivation that we have seen coming into this school year. Our teachers are really excited to keep up that momentum and do even better this year. So not only are our teachers using our reading curriculums more confidently now, but they're also going above and beyond to really expand upon the content that our students are learning through text and really engage them. Just this week, we will have alpacas at Pamlico Primary School as our kindergartners learn about alpacas in the Andes Mountains and the industry of shaving their fur to create textiles and the culture there. So you never know what you'll find at PCPS as we make learning come to life for our kids. But we truly feel that that GEODS curriculum specifically is opening so many doors for our students. It's more than just high frequency words and letter sounds. What truly sets these texts apart is how they enrich our students' learning experiences beyond basic literacy. Each book is packed with factual content about different cultures, historical events, places all around the world, making reading both informative and engaging. The teachers and myself, we talk all the time. We learn things every day when we use these texts, and we're just super excited to have them. Overall, we've just really noticed a renewed spark and commitment in our teachers this year, and we are more motivated and determined than ever to reach our goal. I can't wait to come back at the end of this school year and share with you where we end up, because I'm really optimistic and confident that we're going to go above and beyond what we set our minds to. And we're just excited because we do truly believe that if you can teach a child to read, you can change their life. So, thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Alexander. Ms. Carter Moore, can you give us an update on Fred Anderson?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sharon Carter Moore, and I too am the proud principal of Fred Anderson Elementary School. Can you guys hear me okay? Do I need to go up? All right. We are excited about the start of our new school year, and we started off with a bang, beginning our school year with our teachers coming into the building, preparing the rooms. I think I saw most of my teachers throughout the summer than I do on an everyday basis. They were in that building making sure that everything is ready, and I applaud them for their dedication and their hard work. I want to thank our all-star staff, our families, and our community for coming out to our open house. It was amazing. We had 88% attendance that night, and I'm just so proud of everyone's efforts and everyone joining us and kicking off the year. Attendance is something that we are focusing on this year. We can't teach them if they're not here. We have this saying, 68,640 minutes in this school year, and every minute, every student counts. And I'm proud to say we've been tracking attendance, and our kids have been more motivated to get to school and more aware of their attendance. We have a cute little bulletin board where we announce each week who the top classroom is. And this last week we had what did I call it this morning? We had a four-way tie with four classrooms with 98% attendance for the year for last week. So that is amazing. As far as our learning, our teachers started off with a bang. And Ms. Lipford's class, if you guys have followed us on Facebook, she had an experiment last week, where our students had hands-on opportunities to explore science and the world around them. Ms. Davis's class is reading and exploring literature. They are already on chapter 11, I'm told. And also Ms. Cadet's class, their class is busy learning processes and procedures through the exploration of the scientific method. She wanted to make sure that her students were well aware of the Shine expectations, making sure that she's creating a learning environment where everyone could do well, and also making sure that she's incorporating some engaging learning experiences. What else do I need to share? Our community support so far. I mean, we started off, like I said, with the bang. I cannot complain. I met with I think his name Mr. George is what I called him, and he talked with me about re-implementing the First Tee program for our 5th graders, so that is very exciting. I've met with our PTO members, and they have even covered cafeteria duty for our staff to make sure that they have some extra time to plan and prepare their classrooms. Our Motion Church has given us a backpack for every student in the building, and in each backpack were supplies. We want to thank our Retired Teacher Association of Pamlico County. I think I got that backwards. It's Pamlico County Retired Personnel, and just for them making sure that all of our students have what they need to start the school year off. Also, some members of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority have reached out to me, and they want to invite us to participate in their CHIP program, making sure that all students have supplemental meals as needed. And Ms. Wilson will just have my heart if I don't mention that our All-Star Chorus started and met today. There was a classroom full of our All-Stars in her classroom after school. Parents outside lined up waiting for their kiddos so that they could participate in our chorus. And y'all, you should have heard them. They're ready already. All right. Some of the upcoming events that we have are our open house, of course, is scheduled for October the 17th, and our fall book fair is going to run that week as well. I cannot say how proud we are of our entire school community. And when I say school community, I mean the ones in the building, the ones supporting us from outside of the building, just our community as a whole. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our newest principal, Mr. Joshua Gaskell, come on down and tell us about Pamlico County Middle School.
Good morning, or good evening, everyone. It's been a long day. New principal, tired, something different about it. I'm pleased to report that it has been a great start to the 24-25 school year at Pamlico County Middle School. Our motto this year, as some of you have probably already heard, is a brand new year, a few new faces, but the same legacy of excellence. Our entire faculty and staff have worked very hard to make sure that this year started out successfully. At one of our 2 open house events, a parent commented on just how clean the school was and how the school just felt good. And that is exactly how we feel as well. I would like to give a special shout out to our amazing custodians, Ms. Lupita and Ms. Dora. They ensured that our school was top-notch condition prior to our teachers, students, and families arriving. We've also had a lot of help and implementation with our new student information system. I would like to thank Ms. Wendy Williams, our bookkeeper and data manager, along with our assistant principal, Ms. Zanquavia Minor. The countless hours of work behind the scenes to start our school year just couldn't have happened without our entire team. And I'm just truly blessed to work with such outstanding professionals. We are continuing our legacy of excellence in the following ways already this school year. You've heard a lot about our WIGs, our wildly important goals, and one of ours at the middle school is to reduce our number of discipline incidences by about 50%, looking at the last school year and comparing it to that. And we are well on our way to meeting that goal. We are also actively involving our community and parents by fulfilling the needs in our media center. I want to give a special shout out to Miss Sydney Fibbins. She is the branch manager at our public library, but she's also one of our parents. And man, she's just stepped right up to the plate to really help us out in our time of need. I also want to thank several other folks on our PTO for helping out with that. As an administrative team, Ms. Minor and I, we've already met with all grade levels to set clear expectations and guidelines to just lay out the foundation for a great school year. Overall, we've received very positive feedback from both students, teachers, and the community as we are a new administrative team this school year. Already, we have kicked off both our volleyball and our football seasons, so please check out our social media sites and support PCMS Athletics. We also want to just extend a warm welcome to everyone to just come by our schools. Please take us up on our open door policy. The best is yet to come at PCMS, y'all, and we look forward to sharing more about our continued legacy of excellence, and we thank you for your support.
All right. Thank you, sir. Last but not least, Miss Rebecca Lanchey.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to follow your lead, Josh. Tall people problems. All right, so my name's Becky Lanchey, and for anybody who may not know me, I'm the principal at the high school, also very proud. Around this time last year, I stood in front of my staff for the very first time, casting my vision for the upcoming school year. And I was brand new to the high school, having been moved from the middle school, and I did not feel like I knew a whole lot about a whole lot at the high school. But I knew that no matter what, if we were going to have a successful school year, every adult had to show up every single day as if it was game day. Suited up, prepared, on time, rallying around one another, and just excited to play the game. And this is the game that we play, and that is raising and educating these children. As I stand before you this evening, it's still game day at Pamlico County High School. Early in the summer, as we began planning for this year, Mrs. Minor and Mr. Speece and I spent a lot of time reflecting on the past year, the successes, the challenges, again, casting our vision for what the upcoming school year would look like. Around the same time, Dr. Johnson and Miss Dixon sent us a book in interoffice mail. We were very excited to receive.
I know you were.
We were. That we were tasked with reading to prepare for our district summer leadership. And the book challenges you to set what he's already shared with you are called wildly important goals. And there was a question in the book that really resonated with my team. And the question that the author posed is, if everything else stayed the same, what one change would have the most impact on accomplishing our mission? So as our team discussed our thoughts, we kept coming back to two things, and that was consistency in expectations and consistency in the level of instruction that's provided from room to room at the high school. And these were not ideas that we just came up with on our own. These were reflected in our teacher working condition survey results. It surfaced in conversations at our school leadership meetings, surfaced and was captured in conversations that we had with students over the course of the year. We believe that if there's consistency in the level of instruction across the building and consistency in expectations from room to room, that we'd be unstoppable. We would be winning. We'd have a winning culture. And so our focus this year is shifting from not only just playing the game, but in winning the game. So in early August, our school leadership team met for summer leadership, and we spent quite some time discussing what winning looks like as it relates to instruction and as it relates to expectations. Our team worked together, we split up into teams, and they collaborated to develop our playbook for the upcoming school year. And so our wildly important goal relates to implementing that playbook in every classroom. I share this with you so you have an understanding of what our focus is as we begin this new school year, and that's developing a winning culture through consistency in instruction and expectations. We're moving in the right direction. The official data just came out from the state, and we've been identified as a B school for the first time since 2018. Our students and staff have so much to be proud of. I'm so proud of them. Looking ahead to the new school year, we're hoping to just continue, not just hoping, we are aiming and we are going to continue on this trajectory, and we've set our sights on becoming an A school. We're looking forward to a great school year, and as always, we appreciate all of your support, and we welcome you to visit and spend some time with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great.
We do have a lot of great things happening. One of the things, and I really commend you, principals, you did a great job with that update. You can tell better than anyone exactly what's happening in your schools, and we've really been off to a great start for this school year. Another opportunity we had early on during our week of work days was to meet with our Teacher Advisory Council. I'm going to ask Ms. Katie Brown for her last official function or last official board meeting as our outgoing District Teacher of the Year to come share with us a little bit about the Teacher Advisory Council.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Dr. Johnson said, my name is Katie Brown, and I'm last year's Teacher of the Year. Before I pass the torch on to Ms. Sherry Hale. Our last Teacher Advisory Council meeting took place right before school started on our optional teacher workday on August 15th. It was really nice to see everyone back together again, and everyone had a positive vibe. Looking forward to getting started with the new school year as summer came to a close. Probably my favorite part of the meeting was Dr. Johnson's very informative presentation on the district budget. We all learned a lot from him. He went over COAs and reviewed where our funds come from, and at the end of his presentation, the whole Teacher Advisory Council agreed that we had a better understanding of the budget, and we were able to take it back and share with our colleagues. Dr. Patrick then reviewed some Title I information, and Ms. Mason reviewed the possibility for a grant to purchase an automated substitute system for the district, which we all look forward to. That is a potential possibility for our district. Wildly important goals, which all of the principals had also covered for the district, were also reviewed, and we really enjoyed at the middle school seeing the district leadership team present in our buildings. It's been really nice. Some concerns noted from teachers were just the lack of applicants for open positions, as well as a lack of substitutes in the district. Those were just some of the only concerns that our teachers expressed, which I thought was pretty impressive. So everybody's doing an amazing job. Some celebrations to note from each school. From the primary school, everyone who was present at the meeting was very happy with their EOG math scores. And they're also very excited that there's going to be a dancing pups team starting at the primary school, which my daughter actually signed up for, so she's very excited about that. Fred Anderson was very excited to have Ms. Wood back over as assistant principal. The middle school, we are very excited to be fully staffed. We had a very successful school improvement team meeting before school started. I'm very excited personally. We have the girls soccer team starting for the very first year at Pamlico Middle School. Deputy Angela and myself will be coaching that team, so that's something I'm really looking forward to. The high school had a very successful school improvement team meeting as well. They were very satisfied with the productivity and positive vibe coming from that meeting. And the last presentation for Teacher Advisory Council, Ms. Sherry Hale, Pamlico County's Teacher of the Year, will be taking over as spokesperson. I want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to serve as a representative for the last year. I learned a lot coming from the board meeting, and I really appreciate that opportunity. As Ms. Lanchi said, it's game day today. My husband's coaching over at the high school soccer team game, so I'm going to ask the excuse.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. We really, I just really enjoy our time with our Teacher Advisory Council. They do a great job. They're engaged and they're really interested in just really serving on that committee. We really appreciate their time. Moving on down the agenda here, I'm going to give you a quick new school update. Mr. Rice typically does this. He is actually in Raleigh at the law conference, school law conference. So I'll just give you a quick update. On August 27th, we met, the Oversight Committee met. We have 3 commissioners, and we have 3 board members on that committee, and we were able to meet and discuss the current status of the school. They're working on final numbers with some of our bids. There were 41 bid packages. Some of those bids came in, most of those bids came in under budget. A few of them are over budget, and you know that's something that with any building project, they're working through that right now. Every Thursday at 10:30, we're on a meeting with our architects and the contractors from Metcon to give us an update on that. So all that's they're working itself out. They're working to get those final bids in and under budget. And then we'll be expecting a guaranteed maximum price to be presented soon for your approval. But, you know, we're sticking to that budget. We have a set amount of money. There's not going to be these overages. And I just want to remind everyone that Saturday, September 21st is our groundbreaking at 10 a.m. I hope all of our board members will be able to attend that. We're in the, invitations have been sent out and really in the planning stages of all that now. So we're real excited about that. And, you know, this time next month, we're just liable to see some things happening with our building project. We're pretty excited about seeing things that have been in pictures and plans start to really see some things happening. In fact, things are already happening to an extent. Some land's being cleared back behind Fred Anderson, even now, for the baseball field. That'll be going back there, and so we're excited about that work and looking forward to it. Last thing I will share, and just a little bit before board member time, is our theme for the year is we're on a mission, and we're excited about that mission. We're excited. One of the things we shared in the opening meeting with all our staff is that, we want our teachers, we want everybody involved to understand the mission of the school district, and that is to promote growth, foster growth, instill confidence, and empower every single learner. And we're well on our way to doing that, and we're excited about it. We want that to be our focus, and we're on a mission to get everybody involved in that. So I appreciate all of your support through this. And so at this time, that's the end of my superintendent report. Any board members have anything they'd like to add?
Just to say, had an opportunity to participate in the new school celebration. Was very happy to be there. Also participated in the community prayer, and also had the opportunity to attend some of the open houses.
I would just like to say I had the chance to visit each of the schools soon after they opened, and the schools looked great. Everybody had smiles on their faces, students and teachers. It was really nice. The whole atmosphere was so uplifting, and I just want to commend the principals on a job well done opening school this year. I've heard lots of positive comments in the community. Parents are excited, students are excited. I would also like to say, in looking at the school report cards, congratulations and job well done. That's very exciting. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
I want to echo off Miss Alexander. Keep rocking, keep rolling, and keep believing that this will be the best year. I'll say something that I say to my 6-year-old grandson every morning. Never give up.
That's right.
Never give in. We always win. Amen. Thank you. We appreciate you more than we can ever say and more than you can ever know.
Any other comments? I wish Ms. Brown hadn't left yet, because I keep looking out the window. I got a good view of the soccer game going on right now. I'm not sure who we're playing, but they haven't scored a goal yet, so our goalie's doing a good job. All right. And again, principal's outstanding. Like I said, all I've heard is good stuff, and we fully expect as good a year as we had last year, and improving where we can, because I know y'all are doing a good job. All right, moving on to our consent agenda. Everybody's had a chance to look at the items that are on there. We have 4. If we need to vote on those individually, we can pull it. If not, we can vote on them all as a whole. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries.
Good evening, everyone. It is time once again to look at our MOU for our personal responsibility education program. Just as a reminder, this is our district's effort to comply with policy 3540, which includes a comprehensive health education program for our students. And then beginning as required by law, no sooner than 7th grade, this will include a reproductive health and safety education program. And just to let the board know, there have been no changes to the program that we delivered last year. In your board package, you have a copy of the opt-in, opt-out letter for parents. Ms. Eastwood has also included for you our pacing guide for first semester. Last year, we just taught this in the spring for our 8th grade students, and this year, because of the schedule at the middle school, we'll have a cohort in the fall and the spring. So the only difference is we'll be consolidating the first 4 modules into the first 2 weeks, but we're not changing the modules that we taught last year. I know there were some questions about that. We will still offer the opportunity for parents to review the curriculum ahead of time. We did have a couple parents last year that came out and looked over that with me. We sat right here in the conference room. I answered the questions that they had. And so we'll offer that opportunity again this year in advance of us beginning. Calls will go out so that parents can feel comfortable about this. But if you have any specific questions about the curriculum as well, you are welcome to come and sit down with me and go through that. This again is in partnership with East Carolina University and the North Carolina School Health Training Center. Coach Hardison and Ms. Karen Caton will be our instructors again this year. They went through the training last year and gone through the refresher course this year. So we had a lot of positive feedback last year on the way that we organized the program. And so we hope that with no changes, we will have another positive year where this program is concerned.
Can I ask it was probably a repeated question, and I apologize. For those that opt out, what happens to those students again?
They'll go into an alternate elective course during that time.
Okay.
We did have a few students that opted out last year. This is the only set of curriculum materials as a district that we can provide for parents to use in their home. In other words, we can't give them like our math textbook so that they can teach it, homeschool, but we can provide this curriculum in its entirety for families to use at home. And we did have one family who requested the materials to be able to use with their students at home.
Any more questions on this? All right, we do have to approve this, so I will entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand. The motion carries. Thank you.
And just one more instructional note, we are putting together the board work session that we've done with you for the last 2 years, where we look at the data in comparison to the state and the region and districts around us. So we'll be sharing that with you hopefully at your next board meeting and presenting our school improvement plans and district strategic plan to you in November.
Thank you. All right, moving on to finance.
I have 2 budget amendments tonight for your review and approval. The first one is the more lengthy of the 2. It is for state public school funds. And if you remember, when we talked about the budget in
adjustments up and down are just simply for things like the adjustment to the health insurance rate, the adjustment to the retirement rate. Much better. Some of the other things that you will take notice of, we did have an adjustment in the transportation budget that was fairly significant. And from what I understand there, our ridership had not been adjusted for the changes that we had during COVID. And so this year, the ridership numbers have changed. They have been adjusted at the state level, and so the funding has been adjusted to match ridership. And there was a decrease in ridership, pre-COVID and now after COVID. So that is one of the numbers that was adjusted more than some of what the other numbers were. Most of the other adjustments were fairly minor increases or decreases. So this basically just brings our budget into the same numbers that the state has for us at this point. Can I answer any questions for you on any of that?
Any questions? You got one, Kathy? Okay. Here are no questions. I entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries.
Okay. Budget amendment number 4 is for our other restricted funds, or Fund 8 budget. And if you remember, this is the budget that we keep grants and special funding in. So this amendment is recognizing receipts from the Perry Griffin Foundation for our part-time drama position, and it also records a reimbursement that we received from the state for EC evaluation. So it puts those funds in the budget to be used for supplies for EC students. And it puts the funds from the Perry Griffin Foundation in the budget to pay for the drama position. Can I answer any questions for you on that?
Any questions? If not, I entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries. Thank you.
Sir.
Good evening. I would like to present for approval a contract with Envision for a deaf and hard of hearing teacher.
This is the one I reviewed, right,
Yes.
Betty? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've reviewed this contract.
You've reviewed it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Any questions on this? It was in our packet, pretty straightforward.
I have a question.
Okay.
There was some talk about that there was a possibility of having a virtual teacher. Do we have an in-person, face-to-face?
We were very fortunate to get an in-person teacher to come in. She comes in every 2 weeks to actually serve the students, and she also supports the other EC teacher in serving the student when she's not here.
And how many students do we have?
We have 2.
2. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion. Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and motion carries.
This next point is to appoint a library board member. If you recall, Sherry Hale was our appointee who asked, she had a lot going on, asked if she could resign from that spot. Miss Ann Wood, the media coordinator and assistant principal at Fred Anderson Elementary, has graciously agreed to do that. And we just need your approval on that to seat her.
All right, any questions on that? All right, entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right.
Thank you.
Dr. Patrick.
Good evening. A couple things I have for you tonight. The first is asking you to approve a prayer certification and single set of assurances, which is a part of our consolidated federal programs application. This certification basically says that we don't have any rules or policies that prevent or otherwise deny participation in constitutionally protected prayer, and that we will administer all of our programs, all of our federal funding in accordance with federal regulations and standards. So that was presented to you, and we need the board minutes to reflect that you have given me approval to sign, or Dr. Johnson to sign, and for me to submit the consolidated application.
Any questions on this, Rachel?
I don't think, submit it to who?
It goes up to the state for our federal programs application.
Okay, that's fine, yep, I'm good with that.
Okay. Any questions? All right, entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, motion carries.
Thank you. The other item I have for you tonight, I met with the Policy Review Committee after reviewing policies with the district leadership team. And so we are presenting several policies to you tonight for the first read. I do ask that if you have in-depth or detailed questions that you make contact with me. That way I can research the answers for you versus us coming up with some answers on the fly tonight.
Right. Okay, again, this is first reading, so your homework assignment before the next meeting is review these, and if you do have any questions, reach out to Dr. Patrick so he can make sure we get the answers to our questions before the next meeting. All right, so again, this is just for first reading. Do y'all have any questions tonight from what you've seen so far in our packet? Okay. Thank you.
All right. Last thing on under the governance section is to review our potential application for a needs-based capital fund grant for a proposed expansion of Pamlico County Primary School. As you recall, we submitted this application in January of this year. So this is not a new idea. This is not a new initiative. This has been in the works and in the planning all along. Last year we submitted it with commissioners' approval. This is again a joint partnership between Pamlico County Schools and our Pamlico County Board of Commissioners. This is not something new. What is new this year, just based on formulas and our ability, as the state sees it, to contribute, there is a 5% match requirement. There is also a slight increase. When I say slight, when you're talking in millions of dollars, millions, last year the request was for $29,606,154, and that was for the grant. This year, the proposed project budget is $33,796,000. So why in the world, what changed in 8-9 months' time, if that? I would say this, when we didn't receive the funds before, we were looking at it and really felt like that maybe that was a fortuitous thing. Because one thing I would never want to do is to start this construction project and build that school too small. If we are going to expand, we want to make sure that we can accommodate all our students and have room for expansion. So I asked the architects to include 2 additional classrooms to that hall. Because if you'll recall, what the plan is to add a wing on to Pamlico Primary School. So we could move grades 4 and 5, which are currently housed at the primary school, over to or housed at Fred Anderson, over to the primary school. And then we would ultimately close Fred Anderson, demolish Fred Anderson, and there would be the site where we would put 2 ball fields, a middle school baseball field and a middle school softball field. And so our baseball, softball fields would be right there together, because, as I mentioned earlier, we are building a new high school baseball field behind Fred Anderson right now, and that'll serve our new 612 school. Because obviously the 612 school is going on our current baseball field, so we've a lot of shuffling. We have found that it's a little bit higher than expected pricing on the ball field constructions. We've added an additional $1.5 million to that just to make sure we have the funds available to do. And then also a 5% contingency is added into this fund. One of the things that, is important to note too is that 5% local match requirement. I know that has probably created the biggest amount of heartburn for some of our commissioners and members of the community. They think that we're, what in the world are you doing? You've got a project going right now, and you're doing this other one. What I would say this, it's an opportunity for us to get maximum amount of funding for schools with a minimal amount of input that we have to put forward. Now, I don't mean that I think $1 million is minimal. It's not. But when you think about, ultimately, if we get a $33 million grant, and we've got a $62 million grant, it's nearly a $100 million opportunity for the county for around a $5 million investment. If I'm not mistaken, we spent $3 or $4 million on that cafeteria expansion of the current high school. And that was totally necessary. When I came here in 2005, the entire school was eating in that little cafeteria that basically, there's 2 classrooms right now. Both art rooms, that was the cafeteria, and there was no room in there. And if you went to that high school, there was no room in there because they were eating everywhere out in the commons area and everything else. And so it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around that. It's a great space. That cafeteria has served its purpose and will continue to serve its purpose. We're not tearing it down. It's going to be our culinary ROTC center for our new high school. I said all that, though, to say, if we borrowed and invested $3 million for a cafeteria, we're getting an entire new high school, middle school combination for the same investment from the county, is essentially what I'm getting at. There's confusion about, we've listened to budget amendments, and we've heard all the talk about the things that we've had to cut. We did unprecedented. We eliminated 2 media coordinator positions this year, as you know. We eliminated, basically there are 19 positions that were funded this past school year that are no longer funded this year. We've had to make significant cuts. And so it is really probably a shock to the system for people in the community to hear, oh my goodness, you've done this, that, and the other, and yet you're going to put $67 million into a new school, and now you want to do it again. It's important for us to educate those in the community who may not be aware. We cannot spend any amount of that money on anything other than a new school. We couldn't take part of that $67 million and say, well, we'll fund some of these positions with it. It doesn't work that way. We could choose to keep it and do the project that we've got underway, or we could send it all back to Raleigh and still be left with our financial problems that we've got right now and still be stuck in a school over here that's just waiting on the next hurricane to flood it. And so the right move 100% was to do what we're doing. And it is incumbent upon me to make sure that we're educating the general public on the fact that we can't spend that money in any other way. It is not a misappropriation of funds. It's not a mismanagement of funds. It's not an irresponsible use of funds. It is necessary. And so, I don't have to convince you about the $67 million school. We're doing that. The question is, do we pursue the $33 million grant with for this other? And honestly, my recommendation is that we do. I'm not out of touch and understand that that's asking the county for a 5% match, which amounts to $1,689,803. It's a lot of money. Nobody's arguing that. But when the relative cost and the ultimate reward for that investment is huge, because ultimately we're going to get essentially 2 new schools and be able to set ourselves up for the next 75 to 100 years. The schools that we're looking at closing right now, that high school and middle school were built in 1950s. Fred Anderson was built in 1967. There are prevalent plumbing issues, which we're well aware of. There is a leaking roof. Every time it rains, it depends on how much it rains. It's going to rain in the building, but will the ceiling tiles get so wet that they fall, or will they, just be stained up? That's the kind of where we are at Fred Anderson right now. And so do we continue doing maintenance on a building that, is past its prime? There are 140 students at Fred Anderson. There's a matter of efficiency, things that we can do. We brought this up to the county commissioners and commissioners that were at, the county manager that was at the oversight committee meeting. Comment made by Tim Buck, just exploring and seeing how much additional would it be if we were to pursue this. And so Ms. Dunbar, Mr. Prescott, Mr. Gibbs, correct me if I'm wrong, he said, around $160,000 annually would be something we'd have to come up with. That's a ballpark figure. He was going to get the numbers, but how would we pay for it? If we come up with a way to pay for it, then that would be, something that really wouldn't be it would sort of be an offset. We went back and looked. Right now, from our local current expense budget, we spent last year $430,000, more than $430,000 on electricity alone across all of our campuses. If we eliminate Fred Anderson Elementary and Pamlico County Middle School, we'll save around $120,000 just on that. Right now, we're spending $20 million annually on, $20,000 annually on the property insurance, the flood insurance premium. And it is, so that won't be necessary. The only school we have to keep flood insurance on is the middle school. When we're out of there, we won't have to pay that anymore. And then looking at redundancy of things, positions, other things that come along with the school consolidation, we're looking at savings of another $120,000. And so when you're approaching savings, in excess of $260,000 that we're not going to have to put on the local current expense budget that we currently put on the local current expense budget, it may be give us pause for thinking about pursuing this. Obviously, there's a lot that has to happen. You all have to decide whether you want to press forward and we pursue it. Next step, we will talk to the commissioners. They will have to decide whether they want to pursue it. It's not a decision that I make, but it is a decision certainly that I'm recommending that we work together and talk about, because I think it's an opportunity for our county that may not come again. This is a needs-based grant that is made possible through lottery funds. All indications that, it's going to continue to be available, we don't know. But one thing is for certain, the opportunity to build a school like this is not going to come along very often. And if we don't get this kind of assistance from the state level, we will not build a new school. There is no way that we could afford it. That's what's made it so impactful, this grant program, impactful for rural North Carolina, is being able to replace some of our aging facilities across the region. And so we're thankful to be able to take advantage of it with our 612 school, and we really believe that this is the right move to make for our K-5 school and really set us up for the future. I would say, too, I think it's an important point to make on that. We anticipate a sales tax rebate of $675,921 on that budgeted amount of money. We're getting around 1.3. We anticipate around $1.3 million in sales tax refund for the 612 school. Now, the difference between the two, that $1.3 million is actually being put right back into the budget for the 612 school. We needed it, and that's being there. I would recommend that we take the $675,000 and just return that to the county. The county can use it to put right onto the debt. And so ultimately, that would reduce their final contribution to around $1,013,000. and would ultimately, obviously, lower that annual loan payment. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have for me about this, but this is something that has not been a knee-jerk decision. This is part of our long-term plan. We've talked about it many times, to use Mr. Prescott's term, our 50-year plan and getting all of our schools updated and where they need to be. This was part of that plan. And so, again, this is not new. This is something that we have had in the works. It's something we applied for this year and weren't successful. And so we're ready to take another run at it. But again, that is with your approval and the commissioner's approval. Any questions?
I'll just say I want to commend Dr. Johnson and Ms. Altman after that oversight committee meeting and after we discussed the numbers and Mr. Buck kind of gave us a number of what we'd be looking at to add to the loan amount. I guess I gave them a big task of, I said, we've got to crunch every dollar, every fund code we can in local and current expense funding and find those savings, and they did. It's some folks might say, well, utilities, how can you forecast utilities? You can't, but you have to base utilities on historical data, and I think it's pretty obvious. You go from 4 schools to 2 schools, that utility cost is going to go down. That number kind of floored me, $431,000 a year that we're spending on utilities. New buildings are going to be a lot more cost efficient, and just the fact of going from 4 to 2 is going to be a lot more cost efficient. The property insurance, the flood insurance, we won't have to pay that anymore once we can get out of the middle school. And then putting the sales tax back into it greatly reduces that loan amount. I think a healthy education creates a healthy county creates a healthy state, and a healthy state creates a healthy nation. And we have to fight for the children of this county to provide that for them. And, when we first started this in 2020, this is the crazy part, the projected numbers in 2020 to do all of this was $50 million. It has doubled. But for us to be able to get, if you take 62 and 32, where I'm coming up with 32 is 33 minus $1 million that the county, the match would be. That's $94 million of lottery money. And I'll say it again, like I did at the joint meeting. If you buy a lottery ticket, we thank you. Buying lottery tickets is a choice. It's not a requirement of anybody. And to be able to capitalize on $94 million of lottery money that our legislature has graciously put into a fund to allow, it allows the rural schools, which is west of the triangle and east of the triangle, to be able to finally get schools in better condition. I've heard a lot of comments that we don't need new schools. How many of those folks have gone into our schools and walked the halls and looked at the ceilings and really got a look of what 2 1950 schools look like and a 1967 school looks like? So I think it's our due diligence and our fiduciary responsibility to the counties to save money. And yet it looks like a lot of money being spent, and it is a lot of money being spent. Again, $94 million of it's coming from the lottery. But what Dr. Johnson and Ms. Altman have put together, there are going to be cost savings by doing this. So this is something that we don't have to take action on. And I want the rest of you to ask questions, please, if you do have questions. But I think it's good going forward as a vote of confidence as a board to support this. So that's my remarks and comments on this.
I would just like to say, Dr. Johnson, good job on putting all of this together. And I agree wholeheartedly with moving forward. This is an opportunity that we can't just let it slip by without pursuing it. I fully support moving forward with the application. We're going to be spending money either on operating old schools or putting it towards new schools. And so our children, our students deserve nice schools. They deserve a nurturing school environment and schools that aren't plagued with all these operating problems. And so I fully support moving forward with the application and presenting this to the commissioners.
I agree with the same thing. If you look at this from a financial standpoint, this is a very small investment for a huge payout. I went to school here. My kids are going to school here. I hope my grandkids are going to school here maybe one day. We're spending $150,000, $125,000 replacing a roof right now on the gym. It's a tough decision to make, and it's tough when you have a lot of folks not wanting you to do this. But as a county, homegrown county boy, I think it's the right decision to do. I think we need to make this investment for our county.
Any other comments?
Well, I would just want
Okay.
to make one more comment. I mean, I hear it said several times that we have only 400 or 500, 600 students, only 1,000 students. When you throw that word "only" in there, that basically implies that those students just don't matter. They don't deserve anything nice. They don't deserve something new because there's only 400 or 500 of them. Well, I only have 2 that are mine, and one graduated from the high school, and one's there now in 10th grade. And they're pretty important to me. And I think every parent in this county feels the same way. And so I think it's an affront to say, well, there's only this. We have to look at all of the options available to us and pursue it. So that's my 2 cents.
And I'll say a comment. My platform, when I ran, I said I was going to stand on behalf of all students and in evaluating and assessing the grant. I think by giving my vote in favor, that's me maintaining my commitment.
Mr. Dudley, any comments?
No, I agree with
You do. Ms. Dunbar? Mr. Gibbs?
Yes.
Mr. McOtter?
I support the proposal. From an economic standpoint, there gets to be a diminishing return on the investment that goes in over a period of time. And that's what we're looking at, is a diminishing return on the investment. Plus, on one hand, it's the diminishing return. On the other, we have funding that will help offset and put us into a better economic situation. But it's not just economics, it's having a better school facility, because the technology has changed that we teach with, the teaching methods have changed, and it requires a new facility to be able to approach the teaching of this century. So I support it.
Ms. Ellen?
This has been a very difficult decision to make, and I thank you for laying everything out tonight. And I will always put the safety and security of the staff and the children first, always. That's big for me. So with everything that has been said tonight, I am in agreement with moving forward and presenting this to the Pamlico County Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric?
Yes.
Good. Mr. McOtter, do you have another comment?
Yes, I do. And Helen just brought up a very important point. 50 years ago when these schools, or 60 years ago when these schools were built, we didn't have security issues that we have today. By having and this is probably the most important factor other than the teaching methodology. Today we have security issues. We don't want to have a child to lose any children or any staff because we have not upgraded the security in the school system. And by having a new facility, we will be able to upgrade not only the teaching, but the security of the schools.
I do want to say one other thing.
Okay.
We have a volleyball team that's beating 3A schools. We have our Skills USA, our JRTC that are winning championships against huge schools. We just went to Wilmington. Our cross-country boys won first place against huge 4A schools down there. We're doing really great things, and these kids are doing great things, and I think we need a great facility to facilitate that.
I think the last thing I'm gonna say, there's communication in the community that we as a board are being fiscally irresponsible with county money. These numbers here do not reflect that. Basically, for a $100 million investment, we're getting right at 95% of it from outside funds. So I can't understand the logic of how we're being fiscally irresponsible. I think we're being very fiscally responsible for the county and long-term savings by doing this. So I thank each one of you for your support, and we look forward to presenting this to the commissioners and hopefully being able to share the same message that we've shared tonight. And at this meeting, we'll let you know when that is. If we could have full board support there, that would just be great. Because again, we are being fiscally responsible. Can we do?
You can take a motion to apply for the grant. You can do that pending.
Okay,
I think you'd need the commissioners to sign off it, but you
Yeah,
can.
but we can do that,
Have
okay.
a motion to complete the application to the
Okay, that'll
extent
be
it's up to
good.
you guys. Mhm.
So with all that being said, I will ask for a motion to approve moving forward with the grant application pending approval by our county commissioners.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Yep, I thank each one of you. All right, let's see. All right, Mr. Gibbs.
I move that the Pamlico County Board of Education enter into closed session to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G and GS 115C-402. Confidential personnel matters as provided in NCGS 143-318.11A1, 5 and 6, and 115C-319, and to consult with the Board of Education attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in General Statute 143-318.11A3.
All right, have a motion, need a second? Second. Motion is second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, motion carries. We'll be going into closed session. Session, we're good? All right, back in open session. I need a motion to approve the personnel report for action as presented.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the out-of-district students as presented.
Motion. Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, another good meeting. On your board agenda, you see the meeting dates, training, and board events that are coming up.
For this for next time.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.